I don't want to hit these laths too hard with the hammer, guys, because I'm conscious that on the outside they've just got their tile. If you show them if you look out the window, Tom, if you look at the neighbouring property here, it's tile. That's it. I don't want to be hitting these laths really hard because of risk of vibrating the tile on the other side, which could loosen them or dislodge the tile. So why am I stripping this lath and plaster off this bay window? Well, these bay windows are freezing cold. So you can see, if you zoom in a little bit here, Tom, bring the camera closer. See, we've got black spot mould all along this bay. And the reason for that is, guys, is if you have a look here, there's absolutely no insulation at all between the tile on the outside and the plasterwork on the inside. So these bay windows are notorious for cold bridging on your property, which is why the bedroom gets so cold and why you end up with black spot mould issues on the bay. So what we're going to do today, we're going to strip all this lath and plaster off. We're going to expose the timber studs, and we're going to insulate between the timber studs to also leave a slight air pocket to allow for ventilation on these laths that are holding the tiles on. And then we're going to clad the whole bay with a thin XPS insulation board as well, so it'll allow for 2 layers of insulation, but it will be the existing thickness. So the insulation that we clad over the top is only 12 millimeters, and the total thickness of the existing plaster is about 12 millimeters. So that means that we can leave things like window boards and skirting boards in place. Another common problem on bay windows is the ceiling section. If you have a look up here, you see we've got some black spot mould here, and also this side. So if there's no insulation in this ceiling section, the ceiling section also becomes a cold bridge, and heat can then escape through the ceiling section. Sometimes they'll have the lofts insulated, but they're unable to get right down to the eaves, which means that often these ceiling sections have no insulation in, just like this area. So we're going to expose some of the ceiling, and we're going to insulate and re-skin that ceiling with the XPS board as well. So young Tommy has just taken the last of the laths away from the joist there, guys, as you can see. Very messy job, hence why it looks like a crime scene in there, with all the plastic everywhere. But I just wanted to show you, you can see here, look, that we've got daylight. There's daylight here. Again here, we've got quite big gaps between some of the tiles. So you can imagine during the winter months, all that freezing cold air is just rushing straight through those tiles. And again, on the inside, it's just literally a lump of plaster which has no thermal value whatsoever. We've got all the insulation fully installed now. You can see that we've kept with the existing margins. So this is the skirting board hasn't changed. The carpet's in the same position. We've just protected it there with some masking tape and plastic. So it's a thin option. It's a thin internal wall insulation system, which means that you don't actually lose any floor space, and we can tie in with the existing margins. So same on the ceiling section. If you have a look up here, you can see that's the existing plasterwork there, and that's our new XPS insulation board. So when we apply our plaster skim coat, which is what we're going to be doing in a minute, and we can skim onto the existing surfaces, which means that once it's all painted and decorated, all the margins look exactly the same.